looking ahead to Dover, with the Gen 7 car, do you think anything has to be changed to help it be more durable with how pounding of a track it can be?
I don't think so. It's it's made it through some pretty physical races so far. Obviously, Dover will be load-wise the biggest test of all of them. We hope that everybody's done their homework, and I think it'll be okay. I mean, just some of the impacts that we've had, I know I've had, and been able to still run this car have been pretty impressive. So I expect it to withstand the load and be a great race.
I have kind of a weird question for you, but so I'm looking on a story about just young North Carolina-based drivers that, maybe aren't even in ARCA yet, like that young essentially. Are there any drivers out there that you know of or identified as having, some exceptional talent at a young age?
Yeah, I would say one of them that's up and coming. That's going to be really good is Rajah Caruth. I think he's doing a lot of great things, and he's been impressive in his opportunities. Even younger than that, like a guy like Parker Retzlaff. I don't know if he's a North Carolina guy, but he's been impressive in what he's done so far. I don't know as many. We don't do a good enough job promoting some of the really young talent and some of the late model stuff. So I'm not very deeply versed, but there's always a pipeline of young talent coming through the series, and it seems like more lately now you're getting a lot more North Carolina-based drivers. A lot of people come from different states and live in North Carolina, but there's actually not very many people who were born in North Carolina, raised in North Carolina, and race in the Cup Series or any of the top series. And I think my brother and I, Corey the Joy, there's a few of us that are, but there for a while it was just my brother and I that were the two that were only solely based in North Carolina. So it's kind of a unique thing, and you always cheer for those guys from your home state.
Ty, is there anyone that you're racing with you kind of like got a lot of feedback off of this weekend to prepare for this race?
Nope. I have a dirt background, so I've kind of been relying on my own background. My brother, obviously, him and I grew up racing together, so we'll try to talk a little bit. But I'm fairly confident coming to a dirt race and being competitive, and trying to keep some of my info to myself.
Speaking of Talladega, the big one is back after 2 years due to COVID. What memories do you have of that event? I know you and Blaney have gone. He mentioned you all participated in the games.
Yeah. That was the big one is obviously a crapshoot. It's a good time for the fans and whatnot, and so it'll be fun to be back and see that and witness that, because it's just chaos. So just good memories, and you get a night to kind of let loose a little bit. So.
Do you remember any of the games you participated in?
Blaney and I just did like the pillow fight on top of the balance beam or whatever, and that hurt. I think I pulled a muscle trying to keep myself on top of that thing. So it was a good time.
Do you remember what year that one was in?
18 or 19.
Right before it basically got canceled for 2 years.
Yeah.
But I'm working on a story about local North Carolina-based young drivers. I'm talking like ARCA or younger.
Okay.
Are there any drivers that you know of or have identified as having like exceptional talent at a young age?
Ty Gibbs.
Not for Rajah Caruth.
Oh, you're not from North Carolina, or
No, that are from North Carolina. Or just,
Raj is not from North Carolina. So that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, I guess like can live in.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I know a lot of from there.
Yeah, Raj is coming up through. Obviously,
Sorry.
Ty Gibbs has been crushing it, faces and on the track. There's the cool thing about being a part of Toyota, we have the TD2 program, which is a Toyota development program. And I get to see all of the young kids coming up through at the gym when I'm there, watching them work out. I'm telling them what to do. I'm not working out. But it's cool to see the new talent who's coming through. Corey Heim, Drew Dollar, those guys coming up through. And even the dirt guys are coming through. And I know you kind of see the common path. The dirt guys coming through and run some Venturini stuff, and then hop in a truck like what Buddy's doing this weekend with Kyle. So it's just cool to kind of see, their work ethic and how much they put into it and how much Toyota pushes them. I remember reliving those days and being there, and they didn't have a gym built when I was part of the youngsters of Toyota. I'm one of now the older statesmen to be a part of that deal, but it's cool to see.
How are you liking it here at Bristol so far? You're not a regular here in the Cup Series scene, but you're joining us here this weekend. What's it like?
Yeah, obviously a kind of a weird off weekend for the Xfinity Series guys, and to get the opportunity to come here with Spire Motorsports, the 77 team, had some one-offs with them in the past, and to have Brant Professional Agriculture on board, and to be able to come around dirt. I have a lot of history with dirt. It's my background and growing up here, and I'm not sure that it races a lot like what my normal dirt car would race, but we've definitely seen a lot of difference today already for these heat races for the truck series versus what we saw yesterday in practice. So I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be a long race tomorrow, and we had some power steering trouble in practice. So if we got that fixed, I think we'll have a great shot at having a good day.
North Wilkesboro is coming back with at least some grassroots racing both on pavement and on dirt. Do you plan on running any of that if the schedule allows?
I drove back and forth between last night and today, and on the way back here, my dad was actually riding with me, and he saw that they had did the press conference today. So I need to dig into it because it's definitely cool to see that not only is that racetrack coming back, but on their grassroots level, and gonna have some fun with both asphalt and dirt. I think that it's gonna be very interesting. The shape of the racetrack is very unique for a dirt track, so I'm not exactly sure what to expect. But the thing is, like, obviously my boss Dale Jr. has been a huge proponent of getting that racetrack to come back, and I know Marcus and SMI have really put a lot of time and effort into it, and I'm excited to see whatever the surface is, whatever the type of racing is. It's going to be awesome. I know the fans are really going to enjoy it, and it's going to be successful just because of what it is. So if I can get there and run something, I definitely want to.
Marcus said that North Wilkesboro would be perfect for trucks. I was hesitant in saying anything past that. Do you think an Xfinity race in North Wilkesboro would work?
I mean, I think it would. I think the track would be fine with it. I think, here's the hard part is when especially in somebody in his position, if he starts saying, yeah, we want to bring Cup, and we want to bring trucks, we want to bring Xfinity, we want to do all these things, you end up with an expectation, not only from a fan or from a team, but from a fan, from NASCAR as well. And, there's a lot of racetracks that are vying for Cup Series dates especially, but really any of the three series. I think it would be a great venue for anybody, but, I think, number one, road structure, getting in and out of there, can they get all of that where it needs to be at? Can they get the surface? I know they got big plans, so I'm excited to see what it looks like, but I think that they want to crawl before they walk, and then obviously walk before they run. So they got a lot of work ahead of them. I think they know that, but I think they're the right group for the job. So if anybody can do it, I think they can.
What do you think about using the heat format for NASCAR?
Well, it's different, especially passing points and all that fun stuff. It's kind of wild, but I think that we've seen it so far in the truck heat races, and I think we'll see it with our races as well. Like, it puts different guys that you may not race around on a regular basis kind of in the middle, and I think it's good. I think it somewhat teaches you how to navigate. It teaches you racecraft, and it definitely is a lot different skill than what I would say we normally have by the typical practice qualified race. Now, that also being said, there's risk in it, right? I mean, anything can happen, and you can get torn up just as easily in a heat race as you can in the future. But I'm excited for it. I think to really capitalize on having dirt on this racetrack, you have to kind of go full in, right? There's a reason why local Friday and Saturday night dirt tracks work, and I think a lot of it comes down to the format and kind of how the fan is able to interact with everything. So, I think it's good, and I think it works a lot better on dirt than it does on asphalt. We tried the heat races and the Xfinity Series side, and it made it a little bit tough. We ended up getting single file, and we didn't do a whole lot of passing. At least we're able to see a lot of passing and guys that are willing to mix it up to try to get a better starting spot. So I'm excited for it.
One last thing here, Justin. I was actually here in 2010 when you got your first Xfinity Series win back then. So kind of fun fact, coming back full circle here with you. What's that like, being back here to start your very first win in NASCAR?
Huge. I love this racetrack. When we lost the Xfinity Series date here in the spring because of the dirt races, I was super bummed, because obviously for me, this racetrack has a lot of sentimental value, but also too, it's a great racetrack, asphalt or dirt, and so I was super bummed when we lost a date here. Regardless, I wanted to race here, whatever the service was. So to come back and be able to be here with the Cup Series and to run this race and just be involved in it, I think is really huge for me. It's a huge testament to Brant and them helping me in my career for we're what 12. This is 12 years, I guess, now that they've been a supporter of mine, and obviously to do it with Spire Motorsports and to come here and have them, have the trust in me to come here and wheel this thing. It makes it a lot of fun, and I think it gives you a lot of confidence. And when you go back and we run next week with the Xfinity Series cars, it's gonna be a lot of fun, and just just a completely different mindset when you go in between the two. So it's definitely a little different, but I think it's going to be a good time.
And also looking ahead to Darlington with Throwback Weekend coming up. With the number placement, is there anything different about the throwback paint schemes, in your opinion, that might need to be made? Or
Yeah, I actually haven't thought about that, but that's a great point. I mean, you can't really make anything exact anymore, but I'm sure you'll still have a great, it'll still look a lot like the paint schemes in the past and everything, so it shouldn't be that big of a difference, but it does kind of suck that you can't run the numbers in the same spot.
Cole, having done this race last year, what's been the biggest takeaway this year versus last year for you?
I think just getting used to how these cars handle. They're definitely a little bit different. The tire's different is probably the biggest thing, and just figuring out kind of what you need to do to make the car go fast. I mean, obviously we have some data we can look at, Tyler and Kyle, and see what they're doing in the car, and just trying to learn every single lap, really.
You was running truck race here a year ago. Now you're in the Cup Series. What's been your biggest fault between that series last year and the Cup Series this year?
Yeah, I think just first off, I've been having a lot of fun learning something new in the Cup Series. And it's just kind of a really cool time in the Cup Series in general because, like I said, everyone is literally learning this new car at the same time. So, but aside from that, I think just the schedule, it's definitely a grind, to go to the racetrack every single week. It seems like you get home and then you kind of have to take a half a day Monday, just like regroup and rethink about the next week. Whereas in the truck series, I feel like, we race a couple times, have a couple week break. So it's like really easy to kind of stay ahead. Whereas now in this, you kind of have to prepare, harder because you have less time, I think, to actually do so.
Very good. So Tootsie's, you're rocking the local brand here in Tennessee. What's that relationship like for you guys being close to home for them this weekend?
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously, a lot of people love going to Tootsie's, including myself, and having this race over here in Bristol on dirt in the same state is special. They were with us since the very first year of Track House last year, so they've been nothing but great, and looking forward to have a good result tomorrow night.
On that same note, you led so much in this race a year ago. How much would that mean for you to get that first win here at Dirt Bristol?
It would be awesome. Honestly, anytime that you can get a win, it will be very special. But definitely Bristol Dirt is something special. Last year was the first time. This is the second year, and you never know. You never know. Maybe this is the last year. Maybe next year we don't do it. You never know when it's gonna be the last one. So, you get everything you can.
What does Whitney think about you racing on Easter?
Yeah, it's not ideal, but a good thing is all our families all here. I think it's harder on the family guys I feel for the guys that can't bring all the family here, that don't, your crew guys, your mechanics, everybody else that doesn't have the luxury that we have having a bus here, to be able to have our family here. And we're going to have a, sit down lunch tomorrow like we would anywhere else. My grandfather, my brother, everybody's coming over to have a little lunch, which is nice, having everybody in the same spot, but in the same sense, like I said, it's tougher on your crew guys that are out here grinding it out each and every weekend.
What would it, if they said that this works, the television ratings are sufficient enough to continue to do this at Easter, are you okay with it?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta be, really. I mean, it's not like something I can say yes or no to. I mean, I just go with it, and it's just part of NASCAR. It's the sport we love.
Is the visibility better or worse than last year? Same?
The visibility in the race was terrible last year. You couldn't see anything. So it's all going to be better than that. But yeah, the visibility, certainly in conditions like this, will be better than what we've had. I mean, it's not a dust bowl right now.
Go Talladega next week. Bubba obviously had his kind of career-defining, I would call it career-defining moment there last year. What did you see that do for him?
Well, it's big for the team in a bunch of ways, big for a lot of things, but mostly for him and the team. It was just, big moment in our sport. Everything, just the media and everything they've got, from that win was just huge. And certainly I know it's a special place for him.
Was it bigger? I mean, you knew when he won it was going to be big, but was there anything that made you like say, "Oh my goodness"?
Yeah, I mean, just the the media outlets that it reached, all was just huge. It was a historic win for our sport and for him. So it just certainly it reached a lot of outlets you never thought that would mention NASCAR.
Was there one moment of that experience that really stands out to you? Look back on like that's something like.
Well, probably for me it was just kind of standing back and watching them do the victory lane celebration inside. I've always just been doing it. I've never actually watched someone else do it, and so it was kind of special to see another team celebrate and how excited they were.
How do you prepare as a driver and team owner to get maybe you or Kurt or Bubba back in victory lane there at Talladega?
Well, it's we know we all got a great shot. It's that's a track that you've got to have power in numbers at times. It's we didn't get much chance to race in the 500 before we crashed out, so it was I'm looking forward to going to Talladega and kind of seeing have the things that I learned drafting with this next gen car. Does it correlate? Does it work?
Bubba said that he's buying the car, or getting the car.
I don't know. He's buying it. We
give it to him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, why not? Why not?
I've learned from Joe. It's very important to drivers to have cars that are sentimental to them. So I would never charge my driver for a car that meant a lot to him.
Hey race fans, thanks for watching this video from DannyBTalks. If you're new to my channel, please be sure to hit subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss another video from my channel.